All right, Magomed Abdusalamov and Mike Perez are facing off like Cage and Travolta on November 2nd. Yeah, this is a heavyweight fight. Both of these guys are southpaws. Both of these guys are unbeaten. Abdusalamov is from Russia and Mike Perez is from Cuba originally. He now fights out of Ireland. And in fact, Abdusalamov now fights out of United States, I believe, Florida. So yeah, interesting fight between two unbeaten heavyweights. Mike Perez has shown quite a lot of talent, boxing skill, etc., etc. Typical of Cuban fighters. You know, he's very skilled. He obviously won the prize fighter. Was it a couple years ago now? When was it? 2011 he won prize. He won it quite a long time ago. Since then, he's been fairly inactive. All right. Mike Perez didn't even fight, I believe. He didn't even fight in 2012. His last fight was against Travis Walker earlier this year. So he's been fairly inactive. Abdusalamov, on the other hand, has been very active. This fight, I believe, takes place in Madison Square Garden on 2nd of November. Not sure if that's on the undercard or something like that. I'll have to check. But yeah, it's an interesting fight. To me, Mike Perez has been a bit more impressive in terms of his technical ability. Abdusalamov has got a perfect knockout record at the moment. All right, he's got 100% knockout ratio, 18 fights, 18 wins, 18 knockouts. All right, whereas Mike Perez has been a distance quite a few times. He's won on points quite a few times. But I think if you look at their records, and I've seen a good deal of Mike Perez's fights anyway. I haven't seen all of Mike Perez's fights, but I've seen a good deal of them. I've seen all his fights in Prize Fighter. I've seen him fight Travis Walker. Seen him fight, quite a few of his fights in Ireland and stuff like that. Abdusalamov, I've also seen a few of his fights. I saw him fight Jamil McCline. He was down against Jamil McCline. And to me, that win against McCline looked weird. It looked weird. It looked like McCline either quit or he was paid to lay down. I don't know. It was a weird fight. Go on YouTube, Magomed Abdusalamov versus Jamil McCline, and you tell me what you think happened. Because I think, from what I remember, he managed to knock McCline out with a jab. And it didn't even seem like a hard jab. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe McCline's punch resistance is really shot at this stage of his career. I don't know. But to me, it looks suspect, man. It looks suspect. He was fighting in Russia at the end of the day. Maybe someone said, maybe they whispered in McCline's ear in between rounds. Like, don't forget you're losing this fight, by the way. The Russian mob guys were there reminding him. That again, that's just speculation, man. I ain't accusing no one of nothing, but it looked weird. That's all I can tell you. So yeah, Abdusalamov don't really impress me skills-wise. He don't really impress me technique-wise. He don't really impress me chin-wise. He goes in there and tries to get knockouts. He has obviously pretty good power, or else he won't be knocking these guys out. Even though most of the people he's fighting are journeyman, or all of the people he's fighting are journeyman, the fact is he's getting them out of there. A lot of prospects don't manage to get these journeymen out of there. They manage to win, but they don't knock them out. Mike Perez, like I say, he's also been fighting a lot of journeymen, but I would say overall, Perez has been fighting slightly better competition. Right, he's got people on there like Friday Ahunanya, who, okay, Ahunanya's not a great fighter, but very durable. I don't think Ahunanya's ever been stopped or knocked out. I think he might have been stopped on cuts or something once. I'm not sure, but I know he's never been properly knocked out, as far as I'm aware. He also beat Travis Walker, beat Ty Fields, beat Gregory Tony. So I think Mike Perez has fought a slightly better level of opposition. And again, both of these guys are southpaws. It's always interesting when two southpaws fight each other. It's always interesting because it's like two orthodox fighters. The southpaw no longer has his advantage. All right? Now he's fighting someone who throws punches from the exact same angles as him. And it's very rare to see two southpaws fighting each other in boxing. It does happen, obviously, but it's very uncommon. Southpaws themselves are not used to fighting other southpaws. They hardly ever fight them. So, yeah, it's an interesting matchup. But if I had to make a pick, which is what you're here for, I would take Mike Perez to win this fight. Maybe by stopping Abdusalamov or maybe on points. But again, Mike Perez is not a perfect fighter himself. You know, typical of Cuban heavyweights, his conditioning is not always the best. Now, he ain't as bad as Odlin Solis, but again, his conditioning ain't great. You know, his conditioning ain't great. But skills-wise, I think Perez is better skills-wise than Abdusalamov. But, you know, Perez does make defensive mistakes himself. We don't really know what his chin is like at this stage because no one's ever really hit him on the chin. But based on what I've seen so far, I would take Mike Perez to win this fight on points or late stoppage. Again, you know, who knows? Abdusalamov is a big puncher. Maybe he'll catch Mike Perez with something and take him out. But now I'm going to go for Mike Perez to win this fight, even though it wasn't an official prediction, but whatever. I'll make it a prediction. I'm taking Mike Perez to win the fight, all right? Go and have a look at the fighters yourself, see what you think, but I'm more impressed with Mike Perez skills-wise, although Abdusalamov does appear to be the bigger puncher. So, yeah, leave your comments in the comment section below. This is Hatman. I'm out.